Like if I said, okay, I want to go and open a supermarket, I might have the money to front the costs of opening the supermarket, but what do I know about opening a supermarket? This is a disingenuous take and completely misses the point. But the problem comes with the way you guys have advertised it. That's the problem that the pro-black community has with this. So if even Jeff Bezos is struggling to break this market, what makes you think Krept and Conan, so these two UK rappers own equity in a supermarket which is opening on the 1st of February. Now there's been a lot of conversation and talk about this right now, and I wasn't going to cover it again, but I feel like I have to because there's a lot of conversation happening around it right now. And I'm missing PSG versus Man City for this, guys, so please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. But Krept and Conan hopped on the Winners Talking podcast, and shout out to them, man, over there. They have a great platform to talk about the discussion going on around their ownership in this supermarket. And for those of you guys that don't know, pretty much a lot of people who are pro-black, I'll call it the pro-black community, are not happy with the fact that Krept and Conan own 2% of this supermarket that they've decided to launch, because the way it was advertised was black owned. As you can see here, if we take a look at this BBC article, and the BBC as always, don't pay a TV license. Rap duo open supermarket to give back to hometown. Now this headline title has pro-black written all over it. The only word it's missing is community. As you can see in the article, to help better serve the area's diverse population, another key word there. And the rap duo launched the business with their business partner K-Saw Ali. Now if you didn't see the video I posted on Monday, you can go and check that out where I show you guys who K-Saw Ali is. I think he owns or has a franchise for a place called Steakhouse. I'm not sure on his ownership there, but he's involved in a place that sells meats. So it makes sense for him to be involved in a supermarket or / wholesaler. I'm still confused on which one it is, because he's obviously got experience in dealing with wholesalers, you know what I mean? The guy's a self-proclaimed serial entrepreneur, you get? As you can see here again, over 250,000 residents of black, you know what I mean? So why aren't pro-black people happy with this? Well, they believe they're being misled because the pro-black community wants black money to stay in black hands for as long as possible, which as a black man, I can't say I'm against that. You know, I think that's like, I'm not going to lie to you, man. Why would I be against that? But because Krept and Conan own 2% each, so they both between them have a 4% stake in the business, the pro-black community feels misled. They feel like Krept and Conan were only given their stakes in the business to be used, and keyword used, to market this place. Because as we all know, the supermarket industry is a major oligopoly, impossible to crack at this point. That is late stage capitalism for you. And they say there's been a lot of hate, you know, they're getting a lot of hate, jealousy, envy. I don't think it's that. From what I've seen, all I've seen is a lot of people giving a fair criticism from their point of view. And as you guys can see, even at the topic, related stories, twice homeless millionaire tops black power list. Borough pays tribute to Haringey's first black female mayor laid to rest. Well, rest in peace to her. So even the BBC categorizes this article as a pro-black article. Now we're going to take a look at what Krept and Conan had to say. We're going to take a look at a small clip from it that I've seen posted on Twitter, but the full, I'm not sure if the full episode's released, but there's a longer, around 10-minute clip that is on Winners Talking podcast.
And showing man that, yo, we can all do this together. Man will go happily shopping at
Tesco, Sainsbury's,
at Audi and Lidl's.
Yeah.
You know, Germans own that.
Yeah.
But you're happy to go in there on the Hagen Schnar with them man there and put your money in the Hagen Schnar.
And I'd rather be hungry and still walk past your shop, you know, like, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Happily. Don't even check who owns it. Don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? The 0% own black places. Man are just in there shopping, got the ute in the trolley and let's go.
Yeah.
No one cares. Like, no one... You know what I'm saying? But when the man them are doing things, like, people want to pick holes and things, and then don't even understand it, like, and just don't even understand the scale of it.
The way they portray us, like, this black people, young black men on the news and all that, it's not always the most positive, you get me? So when we see the positive black people doing stuff, and I feel like as a black community, we're meant to just stand behind them. You know? It's supposed to. You get what I'm saying? Regardless if it makes you feel the type of way anyway, just we represent us, so like, we gotta scream that, we gotta push that, whoever should be pushing it.
And at the same time, someone said to me, like, you're focusing on, you know, the 5%. The 95% of people are respecting what's going on and are supporting.
No, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Most people's gonna be when it's time to launch and grand opening, people are gonna come and support. You know, it's obviously, but sometimes you have to let people know.
You're human, you know.
You get me. But at the same time,
so I partially agree with what Krept and Conan have said here. I think they misunderstand it a little bit. Like, yeah, people shop at Aldi and Lidl and don't care about who the owners are, don't look at the owner percentages, they're just going in there looking at the lowest prices. I hear that. But the problem comes with the way you guys have advertised it. That's the problem that the pro-black community has with this. Because you could argue the way this press release was orchestrated, that the intention was to mislead people. Because at the end of the day, the people that you know will get behind you hearing black ownership are people who just want to support black people. And from their perspective, the fact that the majority owner is an Asian man, the majority of our hair shops are owned by Asians, which I think is just something that needs to be rectified immediately. It's not an issue. I just don't think it makes any sense, you know? Considering black women are obviously the biggest customers at these places, how does it make sense that I've never gone into a black hair shop selling black hair care products that is owned by a black person? Why are none of these brands owned by a black person? Even when I was in New York, I was in Utica Avenue, you know, where my family is, you know what I mean? I went into a hair shop in there. I needed some grease in it. Utica Avenue in New York, bro, that is one of the black, that area is just pure blackness, bro. Just black people. I couldn't believe when I saw the owner of the shop, bro. I couldn't believe it. I thought, there's no way. Like, really? Like, even here, you know? But that's besides the point here. If we take a look at some of the tweets here that I bookmarked, this is a disingenuous take and completely misses the point. Aldi and Lidl don't claim to put black people in positions of power only to be 96% not black owned. Congrats on your investment, but don't act like you did it for anyone but yourselves and no one will pick holes. Now, I agree with the first part of this tweet, but on this part of the tweet, I don't agree. Don't act like you did it for anyone but yourselves. I don't think that makes any sense. The supermarket industry is impossible to crack. But do you know who's at the top of the pyramid? Do you know who's managed to crack it? Asians. Asians have cracked it. The last time I checked, the owner of Asda was Indian. It was an Indian family. One of the owners, I think the majority of the owners are Bestway Group, wholesale, banking, pharmacy, real estate, is owned by Asian families. It's owned by like, I think 5 Asian families. And I'm not trying to stereotype here, but to be honest, this is far from a negative stereotype. It's a very good stereotype if you are from the same background. But the majority of local independent shops, even franchised independent local shops, are owned by people of Asian background. And back to what I was saying, why I don't agree with the part of the tweet that says don't act like you were doing it for anyone but yourselves, is because it's about having representation in these areas. Even if it's 2%, 1%, 0.5%, having black people who have ownership in the supermarket. If you have ownership of a supermarket or wholesalers, I'm not sure what it is, even if it's a small percentage, you can learn the logistics, you can learn, okay, suppliers, you can build relationships, you can build connections. Once you master all of those things, that's how you solidify your place in the industry. That's how you make a name for yourself. Like if I said, okay, I want to go and open a supermarket, I might have the money to front the costs of opening the supermarket, but what do I know about opening a supermarket? Do I know anyone in my family who's friends with anybody or anyone who has any ownership in a supermarket? If you're a black person, the chance is almost 0%. If I'm from an Asian background, the chances go up exponentially. And why? Because there's a lot of people from Asian backgrounds in that industry. So Krypton Conan, even being small investors into this business, is helping black people in the UK. It is, because it's giving us some representation. And ownership is power. May not be the majority of the power, but it's power. It's knowledge. They will learn along the way. And one thing that did concern me is, okay, once they do expand, because the supermarket industry is just so impossible to crack, they're going to need a lot of investment to grow. And what comes with investment? Your shares get diluted. I would assume that your shares are going to get diluted. I would assume once you're at 2%, like your shares are you're going to feel it the most. There's obviously going to probably be agreements in place, but that's what I was thinking. But I see that they're going to go for the franchise model, which changes it. Again, somebody who's more knowledgeable on me about this, correct me in the comments below or tell me what you think is going to happen. But with franchises, from what I know, nearly all of the costs and risks are being put onto the franchisee. So I don't think you need more investment. You could just take out loans, you know what I mean? But hey, and you could come and say, well, why are they advertising it as pro-black still? Because it's not majority black owned. The press release was misleading. However, Krypton Conan are 2 rappers, very successful in their field. What cards do they have to play with this move? How else are they going to promote it? Because you're right, yes, they're not the majority owners. So once it becomes successful, they're not going to be the ones benefiting the most. However, that comes with not taking as much risk. But to the pro-black community, yes, you're going to be helping somebody who's not black make more money. But by helping him make more money, you're helping Krypton Conan make more money, helping them grow in this industry, helping them gain more knowledge. You're inadvertently doing that. But as Krypton Conan, what other way is there to promote the business? Like, what are they going to do? Start rapping in front of try and get their rap fan audience to come there? No, they're not going to do that, because rap fans are fickle. Like, if you take a look at Krypton Conan, yeah, they use their rap fans to promote it and push the business, but as time went on, they ended up having to close down. There's probably other factors in there, but you know what I'm saying? Croydon is an area with quite a lot of black people. So out of the two reaches they have, who is more likely to go to their supermarket and spend money? Their rap fans or people who are pro-black? In case you didn't get to the answer yourself, it's the pro-black community. So I agree with Krypton Conan that people need to look at the bigger picture. The problems we have, the discrimination we face, the things that happen to us that we don't like, nobody gives a damn. Because the world we live in is capitalist, bro. If it's not making money, nobody cares. Did you see the amount of people who are supporting Black Lives Matter? Yeah, this, that, da-da-da. Because there was financial incentive to do that. Now that there's no financial incentive to do that, no one cares. They don't care. And you can't expect people to care. You have to get power, influence. I think I read something that said Indians are the ethnic group that own the most property in London now. So that's why you're going to see much more Indians getting into positions of power. We've seen it already, but you're going to see it more. Because they have the power to demand that. Simple as that, to be honest. Because if the CEO of a company said something anti-black that black people didn't like, it will get brushed under and that guy can keep his job. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be no consequences because the black people don't have enough power to demand he's removed from his position. Yeah, we can protest. Yeah, we can, but it's not going to do anything at the end of the day. However, if you said something anti-Indian, and there's been a lot of anti-Indian stuff going on Twitter, I can't lie, it's a bit mad. But in the UK more specifically, if I'm the CEO of a milk brand and I come out and I'm anti-Indian, bro, 70% of corner shops in the country ain't gonna stock my product. Asda ain't gonna stock my product. Do you know what I mean? There's consequences for that. There's consequences. Well, I mean, to be honest, if you do think about it, the owner of Asda, he's a billionaire. So he's part of the billionaire class now. He doesn't see himself as one of his people. You know, that's all billionaires of all races though. So if it was cheaper and it was making him a lot of money, he probably wouldn't care, you know? They'd probably just brush it under and keep going, you know? But they wouldn't do it again. They wouldn't do it again. But even talking about ownership, at the end of the day, the big companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, they all own each other. All these big investment firms, they own each other and they own everything. What are the two biggest supermarkets in the UK? Off the top of my head, I'd say Tesco and Sainsbury's. And I'm not going to go too deep into this, innit? But I'm just trying to make people do what I can to make sure as many of you are aware of this as possible and show you kind of why the supermarket industry is so hard to break into. And I think there was a part of my dissertation where I did cover the supermarket oligopoly in my dissertation. So I'm passionate about this, all right? Because to me, it's just the most obvious one out there. One of the most obvious ones. BlackRock is the largest shareholder of Tesco with 8.1% of the shares. Tesco made nearly £3 billion profit. BlackRock owns 7% of Sainsbury's. Bestway Group owns 5% of Sainsbury's. Qatar owns 10% of Sainsbury's. King Qatar. Now, out of all of the suppliers to supermarkets, who do you think is the biggest supplier? And I'm not talking about wholesalers, I'm talking about the people who make the most products that are sold in supermarkets. I could be wrong, it could be different now, but off the top of my head, Nestle comes to my mind. Now, supermarkets have very low profit margins. So the amount of money they pay for the products from suppliers is very important. Because if a big supplier like Nestle decided to increase their prices, that could turn Tesco from making £3 billion profit to losing £2 billion in the space of a year. It's literally that. The margins are that low. Well, you've seen who owns Tesco's and Sainsbury's. Well, look at who owns Nestle. BlackRock, Vanguard, these are the major ones that you're going to hear all the time. BlackRock owns 5% of Nestle. Now, I'm not going to I could talk about this for days, innit? They all own each other. We're headed towards socialism. This is imperialism. We're headed to socialism. Socialism comes when in capitalism, one person owns everything. BlackRock and Vanguard own each other. We are closer to that reality than you think. Be aware. Just be aware of this. Be aware of this. So even when Krypton Conan are successful with this venture, they're either going to get priced out by the big ones because they can, or they're going to be bought by one of the big ones. Guys need to remember that even Amazon, Jeff Bezos, is struggling to break the supermarket industry. And he's come with some crazy innovation, which we don't see a lot, where you just scan your code, go in, pick up what you want and walk out. And even with that crazy new innovation, in this era, he can't even really break it. He's struggling. They've started closing down Amazon Fresh stores because they're struggling so much. So if even Jeff Bezos is struggling to break this market, what makes you think Krypton Conan could do anything in this market, do anything in this industry without the help of somebody who has knowledge in it, who has connections in it? You're daydreaming. You're daydreaming. Think about the bigger picture, my people, please. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.